Greetings, fellow traders. Jason here on Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time, here in the U.S. anyway, on the 13th of April. We have Good Friday tomorrow, Easter Sunday, a lot of bank holidays coming up. As far as I know, now you can prove me wrong if you know anything other than that, but as far as I know, we have mail in the U.S. Tomorrow, because it's not a federally recognized holiday, but the stock markets will be closed. And they resume on Monday, which is also a holiday in a lot of other countries around the world. So going to be pretty subdued for the next 4 days. But sometimes subdued markets can be very difficult to trade because we get these spikes and these volatile little gaps and things that happen. Spreads can also get larger on your trading account due to lower liquidity in the markets. So you want to be safe. And hey, how's it going, Julian? Hey, Peter. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So the plan here in the Forex Signals trade room, you can see the stream schedule up on the top. Basically, I'm streaming tomorrow morning at 8:45 Central Time, and that will be the last stream until Monday evening, Monday afternoon. Tony's coming on at 4 a.m. I think that's Monday. And then Andrew Tuesday, and then I'm starting back up on Tuesday. So I'm taking one stream on Monday off, the Monday morning stream. But I'll be here tomorrow, and we'll go from there. And I'll be around in the chat room a lot, but still going to be busy doing lots of different things. So we'll be taking advantage of all these days for sure. But yeah, how's it going, Trady Trader? Nice to see you. I'm going to get this right down and to the point with you guys. I posted the trade idea on the pound dollar. If you're on the stream this morning, you heard me talking about possible long setups in the pound dollar, and also I am long euro dollar in another account. I showed you some of the entries there. And I wasn't quite sure. I wanted to get a good trade idea out for everybody. I like to try to get, one or two a day, some days two, some days none, but we try to, average at least a good handful of solid trade ideas a week. But just not a lot of stuff moving in the markets right now. So we took this trade idea to the upside in the pound. If you want to see the trade idea, maybe you already did, you can scroll down to the trade ideas here. I'll just show it to you real quickly here. You can see this trade idea that was posted. And this is the possible long pound dollar trade idea. Wanted to get long in this gray box here between 124.92, 124.93, and 125.12. And we're currently right in that area now. It's cleared off my chart on my trading platform. But basically, we're in the area right now to be long on the pound dollar, in my opinion. But pretty tight stops. I have my stops at 1.2468. Profit target number one is way up at 26.65. But I'm not going to be staying in this trade too long. I don't know if I'm going to leave it on overnight or not yet. We do have some high impact news coming out tomorrow. I put a note on here, which you may have read, but just to be sure, be wary of the holiday and 4-day weekend around the globe as market liquidity will drop quickly, and we may see a difficult trading environment due to profit taking and settling of orders. So that's one of the trades that I had come up with for you. As far as the news goes, I think most of you have seen this as well, but just to make sure it's out there. Bank holiday, New Zealand and Australia, Eurozone on a holiday, Great Britain, Canada's on a bank holiday, and then boom, the US comes in with these, 5 high impact news releases along with a tentative Treasury currency report. So interesting. We got CPI, core CPI, retail sales, and core retail sales. This Treasury currency report, I'm really no expert on this, and I was reading a little bit earlier here and also on another site, but I just want to share it with you. It comes out twice per year. Source does not provide a reliable release time, and the report can be delayed for several days. The event will be listed as tentative until the report is issued. Market impact tends to vary and is mostly dependent on which countries will report, which countries the report will accuse of currency manipulation. So it's just If any of you in the stream right now, in the live chat room, I'm sorry, have more insight on that, let me know. I mean, I've definitely watched this in the past, but I just don't have a good feeling of how it's going to impact the markets. I just don't follow it. I don't understand it. It provides a detailed review of global exchange rates, policies, economic conditions, and central bank government actions around the world. Most importantly, the report outlines countries that the Treasury deems currency manipulators. Also called the Report on International Economic and Exchange Rate Policy. So I'll be the first to admit, I always try to be open, honest, transparent. I just don't follow this one. I don't understand it entirely. I'm sure, I can give you a rough opinion, but I don't have the facts to back up. So just know that it's out there, and it could be several days delayed. This might show up on Sunday or Monday on Forex Factory or on the news economic calendar that you use. So be aware of that. Stock market closed down today. Dow was down 130 some points, which for the current price action is not that much. It's only 0.67%. But the NASDAQ was down, S&P was down, gold and silver, of course, up. We're going to take a look at those next. I'll tell you what, before I do that, let's look at this because I think it's important to see. There we go. Andrew's momentum meter, strength meter. If you look left here on the time frames, you see the dollar is strengthening, the euro is strengthening, pound is getting a little stronger, yen is the strongest all the way across the board. Some weakening in the last 15 minutes to 40 minutes or so, half hour or so on the Aussie, the Swiss, and the New Zealand. CAD is sort of mixed, and you can see they're sort of teetering around right now because we just recently opened up a new set of candles at 8 o'clock Central Time. The currency that's down the lowest, though, is the Canadian dollar, but it's starting to pull up here on the hourly time frame. The highest one by just the smallest margin is the dollar, closely followed behind by the by the yen, and then the Swiss. So you can see this consolidation pattern, but the Canadian dollar is the one outlier of the group, being furthest away from its 20 moving average. So I don't think we're going to have a lot of real stellar classic trades in the next day. There's definitely going to be a lot of ways to make money, don't get me wrong. I mean, you could make your whole entire quarter by some trades that you could have here, but I think a lot of it will involve luck and uncertainty. So I'm going to stick with what I have here. Just to let you know, my stops are down here at 24.60s, 68. I think it would be okay to pull these stops up just a little bit, but I'm going to let them be. I set my profit targets way up, and again, all the lines were erased off my chart here. But my first profit target is way up at 26.64, 26.65. So we have a roughly 32, 34 pip stop and 160 pip profit. We'll just have to see how it settles. We have a lot of support here on the pound on this 4-hour time frame, and also, of course, on the 1 hour. You can see the support in this area. I think if we break down beneath the support in this range where my crosshairs are, and also break down beneath this rising trend line here, if the stops get hit, I think all bets are off, and this pair is going to either consolidate in this area or push a lot lower. The euro dollar is also one that I rarely trade, but I'm in. I have, I think, 3 orders long on the euro dollar right now, and there's a few reasons why I'm long on the euro dollar. One of those reasons is this descending trend line that we've been bouncing off and having price rejection on. The other is price consolidation. I had a gray box earlier drawn up here to show that area, which we're currently in, and also the big round figure of 10600 coming up right down in this area here. I'll put a little line up there. 10600. I think if we get below 10610, especially down to 106,000, of course 10 pips only lower, I think this whole trade is invalidated. Then we zoom out to the daily time frame, and we see this rising trend line on the Euro USD. So we have this rising trend line, but we also have this reversal candle pattern, and you can call it different things because it's not exact. There's a little bit of an inside bearish candle, but sort of like a railroad track there. So there's some reasons to be long. We're obviously in a long-term downtrend on the euro dollar. If you look at the monthly time frame, excuse me. So I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of the euro dollar lately, but I am currently long. And if it drops 15 to 20 pips from here, I will be out. But those are the only two trades that I have going. Buy in the euro dollar on my other account, and I had that up this morning. And then the long on the pound dollar here in this account. The trades that we had closed out, I think some of you, especially on the other side of the world in Australia and New Zealand, didn't see this yet, but this is the trades that I had closed out on gold, because I had a couple of people ask, are you still in gold? And I rode them up nicely. Made just over $2,000. This is the one lot. This is the 0.8. So closed out there for gold to the upside. Gold's been pretty good to me. You know, I had the sell here, about $100 of profit on this little one down here before the missiles were fired, and then we had non-farm. You've heard it before. Don't want to bore you with the details here too much. But I think gold to the upside. I mentioned this a couple days ago. You might remember it, but I think it's so important. If you have trades over this long 3 to 4 day weekend, depending on where in the world you live, I don't think it's a good idea, number one. I don't condone it. I think it's gambling. I think it's risky. But definitely, you know, if you have them open, you want to be on the side that would be, you know, beneficial for you and your trading account if there's unrest in the world. I mean, we really got a lot of tension with North Korea. Trump's been talking today, you know, China there, Russia. You know, Trump just recently said, I think it wasn't too long ago, just a few hours ago, that they will take action on North Korea if they continue with further nuclear tests. They dropped the MOAB, the mother of all bombs, today in Afghanistan, the largest non-nuclear bomb that the U.S. has in its arsenal. They dropped it in Afghanistan today. I mean, there's definitely unrest, and if something like that happens, you're going to see huge gaps in the forex market when it opens up after the weekend. Now, I know we still have tomorrow to go. The forex markets are going to be open. Your broker might have different Easter trading hours, you know, for the holiday. But my whole point of this ramble is, if you're going to be in a trade and you're going to leave it on all weekend, which I don't condone, I would have to say it would be a buy or a long in gold, silver, or crude, or a sell in one of the yen crosses, like a sell in euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen, Aussie yen, CAD yen, because the yen is the flight to safety currency, as it has been for years. And also we see the commodities increase with uncertainty, of course. So if you're going to hold something over the weekend, you know, there's a lot of people that are probably watching this that are more plugged into the world politics than myself, but I feel like this weekend there might be some stuff going down, and I don't think I'm alone with that. So if you assume that things might sort of go down in the world with some, you know, war, some kind of bombs, some kind of arguments between countries, whenever there's unrest, gold up, silver up, crude up, and downside on the yen pair. So I will not be in any trades this weekend. I'm not telling you to trade just like me, but if you want to follow some bit of advice, you know, I'm telling you what I'll be doing. I'll be out either tonight before bed or tomorrow. Of course, I'll be on the stream with you all tomorrow to see where things are at. Sorry, I haven't looked at the chart. I have to chat here. Not much going on. No holidays. Right on. Don't move to the U.S. Yeah, no kidding. Kitchi says, can you watch live streams on the phone while on here? Yeah, you can watch them on the YouTube channel as well. Well, there we go. Thanks for posting that, Sungate. Should work. How much is forex tax in Aussie and UK? Not sure. Sorry, guys, I missed the chat a little bit here. Thailand, Malaysia. Cheers to Sungate. Yeah, Kitchi. I hope you're watching. Jenny. What is Sanya? I don't know what that is either. Julian says here, what would happen to the U.S. dollar if the U.S. would strike on North Korea? Well, basically what would happen is I feel like the U.S. dollar index would fall. That's what I think would happen. I wouldn't be playing that card, though. If something would happen with North Korea, or any country for that matter, with Russia or China or something with the U.S., I think you're going to have much greater benefit to be in a yen pair. The question is which one. I'm very mixed on that. I think being short on pound yen or dollar yen, euro yen are going to be great, but long on gold and silver be good as well. Jason, do you scalp? Yeah, I definitely do. I haven't done it very much over the years because it's not as consistent for me. I did have some scalp trades on the dollar yen. I'm going to pull those up for you. I don't know. I showed them this morning on the morning stream, but I will show you where I'm at with those. Let me shrink this down. Pull this up here. These were some scalp trades that I had on last night. Hope you can see that okay. Let me pull it over in a 15-minute time frame, and I'll get rid of the candlestick so you can see a little better. So these were some scalps that I had on my LMFX live account overnight on the dollar yen. I had a series of orders, and they were fairly, good size orders. I had 1 lot, 2 lots, 3 lots, 4 lots, 5 lots, and then I had a 0.6 and a 0.5. The best one made me about 30 pips, 20 some pips. And this made me, I think it was, let me take a look and see at my terminal here. $1,600. Yeah. On the 1 lot orders, it was $260, $255, $218.10, $208. And then on the 0.6 and the 0.5 it was $52. And on the 0.5 lot, it was 46 cents. So it was barely anything. It's basically flat. You can see it right here. Yeah, that little tiny one. So I do scalp around a little bit, but I don't recommend it because scalping is hard to learn. Scalping is definitely hard to reproduce. If you're good at it, you got to have some great data feeds. Got to have good news, updates. Some of the people that I knew that do okay with scalping have it automated. But I don't condone it or recommend it, especially when you're new. I mean, I lost a lot of money scalping back in the day. But the reason that I got out of the trade, just to close this down, to get off the topic here with you, let me shrink this down here a little, was because of this area right here. It was pretty well respected. You can see it here in blue. So we had these wicks coming in. Let me change this. I don't draw on the LMFX chart very much, so let me just polish this up just a little bit for you. Let's see, let's put it right here. You can probably see that there. You have these wicks here. Probably zoom in 15 minutes. That's better. These wicks here, projecting them over, and it's just, it was so class. I mean, it's just classic technical trading here. You don't have to make it too difficult. I saw this sort of subtle inverted head and shoulders pattern, so I decided to hold it until we got up to this area. However, there was some uncertainty in the markets at the time. I knew my target was only going to be roughly 109.30 on this trade, and I wasn't sure if we'd make it quite to these wicks, which were right sitting at 109.34. So I just decided to be conservative. I pulled it off at about 109.14, 109.15, 109.13, somewhere in that range. And then the market came right up into this gray area of resistance and pushed down. I mean, it was just classic technical trades. I could have held it a little bit longer, but I had something going on. I think I was going to do an interview, or maybe it was just before the live stream. I forget. But speaking of interviews, I had a great interview with Big River Man yesterday for the trading contest. And also finally got my interview in with Steady Capture. If you don't know who Steady Capture is, he's the basically key trader now for Think Huge Investments. And he manages a lot of money. So I did a good 35 minute interview with him today, and had some interesting conversation. I think you're really going to like to hear that. So Dominic's going to be editing that, I'm sure, either over the weekend or early next week, and then we'll have it available for all of you to listen to, as well as the other interviews. Had a good one with Momentum King and Big Riverman. Still waiting to hear back from BMM. Dominic said he spoke with him and he's ready to do it, but I haven't heard back yet. Let's see. Well, yeah, right. Well, hey, Jason, how do you pull these lines up in MetaTrader 4? If the market is consolidating in a range, would you recommend pending orders, support and resistance? Thanks for explanations. Amazing. Yeah. Just to get to one question first here, if the market's consolidating, pending orders at support and resistance, I think it'd be okay. I mean, I don't use pending orders a lot. I like to be in front of things because if you put a pending order on just as a technical trader, I think it's a great thing. It's a great tool. You don't have to sit here. You don't want to waste your whole life at the charts. But when you're at the charts, when you're watching, it's nice to know the news. You know, what's going on with the possibility of war? You know, what's going on with the futures market? What's going on here in the data feeds and the stock futures and, you know, that kind of thing. So if I put a pending order in, usually what I do, and you may have seen me do this before, I'm not saying it's the holy grail, but it's just what I like to do. What I like to do is put in the pending order. If it's 5, 10, 15 pips away from where I want it to be, I'll put a pending order in, and then I'll go eat dinner or, you know, take the dogs for a walk or something like that and see if it triggers. So I don't like to let them sit overnight. But as far as channel trading goes, that's a whole nother strategy, and it is a very profitable strategy. When the markets are quiet, picking the right pair with the lowest cost of doing business, something like the euro dollar, dollar yen, the smallest spread or smallest commission, if you have an ECN account, can be a great way to make profits in the market, to be buying at the bottom, selling at the tops with your stops above or below the price action. As far as how do you pull these lines up at MT4 Sniperman? I meant the closed trades entry. Oh, yeah. All you do is I have my streaming software set to only show my chart. So if I drag my terminal in front or my drawing tools, you can't see them. But if you open up your terminal in MetaTrader 4, where you see your open and closed trades, just click on account history where all the closed trades are, and then you just drag them onto the chart. So if you have an order on the Aussie dollar that you had sold, let's say, and made profits, you just click it, hold it, and drag it right onto the chart. DRA81, I cannot close my order with LMFX, so they close for the weekend. I don't think so. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. No. What would happen with, because I have live trades going with LMFX right now, and what happens is over the weekend, everything will lock up. The timing will stop. They're definitely not closed. So there must be something going on there. I mean, I could be wrong, but I have live trades going right now that I'm planning on closing on the euro dollar long. Yeah, Sniper Man. So give that a try once. Oh, you did? Easy, thanks. Yeah, it looks really cool. When you're showing people how to trade and things, it doesn't show up the best on a candlestick chart. Usually I put the bar chart on or a line chart just to see, but it'll show you where you sold and where you bought. A perfect example of this is right here on the pound yen. You can see it in the middle here, but it's sort of hard to see. But if you get rid of the candlesticks, you can see them easier. The sell is the red, the buy is the blue, and then the yellow is where you closed out. And then when I add into orders, I always do smaller after. So this is a 1.5 lot, this is a 0.8, and this was a 0.4. This one lost a little, this one made a little, and then of course this one made a fair amount of profit. So overall, these two trades were nice, but it lets you see where you're at. Very cool. I'm definitely mixed on pound yen right now. I mean, we're sitting in this key area. If you zoom out on your charts to the 4-hour or daily time frame, and you look at the wick, now that's right behind my video there. If you look at this wick that was put in, I'm sure you know where it is if you trade the pound yen on January 16th, that wick of low price is basically right where price action is right now. So, it would only take a little bit of uncertainty in the markets, aka Trump going crazy, to take out this wick. I mean, we're basically right at it right now. And if you look to the left and try to get your clues out of the market, if this level of support that we're literally dangling at right here is taken out, pound yen could fall with no real noticeable signs of support for another 350 to 400 points. So I think if you were trying to play some uncertainty over the weekend and you wanted to risk it, I think pound yen short would be a nice one. But again, I'm not doing it. I don't recommend it. Or gold long. Gold long is awesome for that. Yeah, you're right. Pound yen has been really tight for a while. How do you know when... I can't trade gold today. Yeah, you bring up a good point too. I mean, the commodities trade differently. I mean, for those of you who are experienced, you may sort of roll your eyes and say, okay, he's going to talk about this for a minute. But if you're a new trader, if you're trading crude oil, gold and silver and the DXY and indices and things, they have times of the day where the market closes for an hour, some of them even more, and different brokers, it can vary. So the markets might actually be closed some of the times, even when the forex broker and the other currency pairs are running. So you want to just study that. Most of the brokers will have the market times when they open and close. They'll tell you how much a lot is worth. And you can learn a little bit more. I would always practice, especially with commodities, on a demo account. Just open up a free one with 100 grand or 10 grand in it and put on one lot on gold and see what it's worth with your broker, and do the same with silver and other commodities, because it can be really, eye-opening. Most traders aren't that interested in silver like I am as far as trading the silver charts. But when you start talking about, hundreds of dollars or more per penny, it gets a little more interesting pretty quickly. How's it going? I never really know how to say your name, Firasgobia. How do you know when support or resistance is about to break? You really don't. You have to take the clues from the market. So support and resistance is called just that for a reason. Some people trade counter trend and want to be trying to pick tops and bottoms. For those things, I usually use divergence. When I trade divergence, I'll use a setup that's like this. I'll just give you a quick look. I use this type of a setup here, which involves MACD and stochastics. And what I do is I look for a divergence pattern where the price swing highs or lows diverge and go the opposite direction from the swing highs or lows on the MACD histogram. And watching for that can give you a really good indicator. Then I use fib levels to project the price area. But that's a little bit more in depth. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't mean this in any funny way, but I'm going to give you a little sort of treat here for coming on tonight. I have a bunch of videos that were basically for premium members, and I want to share one with you here. I'm going to do that right now. You just give me just a moment. Just take me a moment to get this posted out here. So this is a 23-minute video on how to use MACD. I hope that link works. It should work, I think. It's always hard when you're logged in because things look differently. Yeah, it should pull up there. So that'll tell you just 20-some minutes about me getting in a little bit deeper with MACD and trading divergence. Let's see. They will usually send holiday trading hours in an email. That's exactly right, Lazarus. They do that for sure. But support and resistance to tell when it breaks, you don't know. You got to look back. You look at the levels. You see what's going on and the other currency crosses. What I like to do, I think it's sort of common sense, but For some of you, you might not know. I mean, if I'm looking to sell the US dollar and play on dollar weakness, you want to be buying the euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, whatever it might be, selling the dollar CAD. I try to find the best one and get in on just one. So you want the one that has the easiest, most clear technicals, the one that on the momentum meter looks the strongest, and then pick the best one there. Smelly Rat says, I'll hold my gold longs and UJ shorts over the weekend. You know what? I don't think that's the worst idea. Trading is a game of probability. You'll never know. That's right. Yeah. Market tab. Says the video is private. First two are private. Third one works. Let me edit that then. Edit. MACD. Add edit notes. Oops. Come on, buddy. Sorry to take this time here with you, but I think it'll be good and worthwhile. Let me get back into the Creator Studio. Just give me one moment here, and then I'll post it for you right away in real time, and you can take a better look at it. Playlists. Here we go. Premium video topics. I don't know how to edit it actually. Sorry. Because it's inside of a playlist group. I'll work on it. And if I don't get it or forget, just remind me. I don't want to waste the time in the stream here and that kind of thing. But thanks, Art. Remind me on that because I can probably do it in a minute or two. I just don't want to take away from the live stream here. I don't like to use indicators, but you think using RSI to catch divergences is a must? I don't think so. Divergence could be as simple as just using your MACD. I throw stochastics on there just as another filter, usually either to 30-70 like this, or actually I like 80-20 a little bit more. The stochastic filter, obviously these are lagging, so I don't get too involved with them, but classic divergence for me involves a MACD trigger as well as a stochastics verification, almost like an extra filter. So it will keep me out of certain trades that might have worked, but it usually helps to keep me out of getting in late on a divergence setup. And that video that I'm trying to share with you, we'll go over that a little bit more. Do you have time to talk more about divergence? I would definitely help me remember to share that video with you because that'll cover it pretty well. ATX FX, what time frame do you focus on the momentum meter? That's a good question. Let's pull it up and take a peek at it, because I think that's a really popular question. I've heard it before. So on the momentum meter here, I believe Andrew, Andrew's the guy who created this thing. He had it coded for him. He usually has his on the 4-hour. I tend to like mine on the hourly just because that's the time frame that I use on most of the charts that I'm showing here during the live streams. So I keep mine on the hourly. Every once in a while, I'll toggle down to the 15-minute just to take a look. These color-coded box, the red and the blue, should not and will not change based on your time frame because they are independent. They all are their own time frame. But all these moving averages will change. And again, if you didn't hear it yet, I just want to make sure you know this center line, the 0 line, is basically the center of a 20 moving average for each of these currencies. And the lines here represent how far away from the 20 moving average the currency is. So, and I believe these are tied to that currency versus the US dollar index, if I'm not mistaken. So again, the center 0 line is the 20, and the lines that you see are how far away it is. So you can see the Canadian dollar down here is quite far away from its 20 moving average to the downside. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but definitely help me remember because I want to share that video with you guys. We also have, there's also videos there on see, there's chat and YouTube too. I keep forgetting. Tom and Michael. Yeah, definitely. If you want to ask the questions, I would just come on into Forex Signals. I mean, check it out because there's a lot of chat there. What currency is silver most correlated with? I'm new to your page. Can you briefly tell me what sort of trader you are? Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start on that, Michael. So I'm sorry. So many things. So many things I could tell you. We have bios here on the website. We got all sorts of free videos. We did a 10 video series back in November. My own trading style, though, I trade live here. I do 7 to 8 live streams a week. Andrew does 10. Tony does, I think, 5, maybe 6. And in every live stream, I take my trades in real time with everybody. So I guess over time you would look. I mean, I'm basically a technical trader, but I really have a keen eye. I like watching the fundamentals and making sure that I'm aware of those at all times. I'm going to change this back here. Basically live and breathe the Forex markets. Dollar index is sitting right back up in this zone that we talked about earlier today. This sort of sticky spot here, right around 100.50. Sticking right in this zone. I feel like technically this should roll downwards a little on the dollar index, and that would help push up our pound dollar long and euro dollar long. But as you know, every hour that goes by, we get closer and closer to this weekend and the holidays, the less and less convinced I am. And that's why I put the note on the trade idea for you all. You know, if you're going to get anything, you want to be safe. There's no point to ruin any trading accounts or your performance on a, you know, unpredictable holiday long weekend. Gold is starting to push up here, and we're right at the top here. 1287.84 currently. The highest wick on my platform is 1288.53, so not even $1 above where we are. And the reason I took this trade long on gold a few days back, that was started on April 11th, closed out on April 13th, was that if you look to the left on the longer term time frame here, there is just no resistance all the way up until we get up to around 1300. So my conservative profits, I don't know if you can see the little blue line there, but my conservative profit target was about 1290, was exactly 1296. But I got out early because of the hesitation, and I was also trading another currency that was not closely related, because we know that at least in the long history of gold, it's tightly correlated to the Australian dollar, much like crude is correlated to the Canadian dollar. As of late, I think the price of crude with the price of the Canadian dollar are more tightly correlated than gold is to the Australian currency by far, but it's still worth noting that those are correlated. The euro pound is sort of getting hid here. Euro Aussie, my favorite pair. In the stream this morning, I talked about this very key level here. See, all these little arrows came back again. Let me get rid of those. I talked about this key level of 1.4000 on my favorite currency pair, the euro versus the Australian dollar. And if we could bounce up at this level, not saying to buy it, but if we could bounce up a little bit like we did, that will give a little extra boost, a little extra strength to the euro dollar. Doesn't mean it's going to go up, but it's nice when you're long in the euro dollar and you see a rise in the euro pound and a rise in the euro Aussie. Just gives you extra confidence. Euro pound has been as flat as a pancake here. I mean, we've been in a 15, 20 pip range with a few exceptions, for 50 some hours now. So things are starting to settle down for the weekend. I don't quit that easily though. So I'm still in the markets. Pound dollar, euro dollar. Take a look. Is the tutorial in the website's video library? No. There's a whole area of premium videos that I put together just for our premium room back when we had it. And they were going to be edited. Some of them got edited, some of them didn't. And then we stopped making them because we were going to get rid of the premium room, and now they're all sort of sitting there. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with them yet. Out of all the things that we're talking about doing and the new things coming to Forex Signals, that's one topic that all of us guys and gals in the in the background haven't covered. What do we do with these videos? Elliott wave video, support and resistance training video, MACD video. There is something that Andrew put together not too long ago. If you look at the screen here, just the whole Forex Signals page. Actually, I'm going to show it to you here if you're new, just so you can see it. Where am I here? Forex Signals live stream. There we go. So if you look up, there you go. If you can see way up on the top, right below the title up here where my mouse is moving, Forex, the basics. If you click that, Andrew has this course put together, and it's all free. It's all there for you. What is Forex trading? What is market structure? What currency pair leverage? What's the spread? Forex broker types. And all you do is click the video, and it'll show you, him talking about what's going on. And they're actually pretty good videos as well. So the other thing that we just decided to do, as long as I'm off topic of the trades right now, because the markets are a little more quiet, the other thing that we also decided to do, I didn't have, it wasn't my decision, but we all made it together, is that Andrew and I are going to come on live in a joint live stream every single Friday morning after this Friday. We used to do it before, you might remember, where I'd be on Skype up in the corner and he'd have his video down there. We just talk about the week and what's going on and what the next week's going to bring and that type of thing. So just want to let you know that. You can also shrink the video by just clicking shrink video. You can see right down here. Shrinks the video down to the corner to get it out of the way. If you want to follow one of us, like Andrew here, you just click on the little person here. I already followed him, but if you follow them, then you get an email every time they post a trade idea, and you can do that with myself and Tony or anyone else in the room, actually. The forums are great. The tabs here show the contest, of course, and the FX propulsion strategy PDF book, indicator download, and we also have our own economic indicator here. You can see that as it loads through. Good Friday across the board. Right on. Just a lot of cool things. This is probably one that had the most confusion in the recent past, where it says catch up here. I think most of you know, but you can see all the upcoming streams. They're all listed to your time zone. But if you toggle this little yellow orange colored button up on top, you can hover over these buttons to see what they do, by the way. But if you toggle it, it'll show all the recorded ones, and you can watch the recorded version in case you miss some, and you can scroll through them. Will also added this really sweet remind me feature. So if you click remind me, say you want to get reminded about Andrew's stream, you click that and it will send you an email. I believe it's an hour before the stream comes out. So just a little quick and dirty tour here. There's more to it than that, but get the idea. They're also going to be linking up the podcast with the trainer interviews, hopefully to Apple iTunes and Stitcher, so you can listen to them on your mobile device, Android or Apple. Also chatting about trade alerts, texting, that kind of stuff. Trady Trader, let's get back. Let me go back to our... Trump's been pretty quiet tonight here. Let's go back to the charts here. And then I'll take a look at some of the more of the chat here. So, Trady Trader says, how low can the dollar yen fall to regarding Trump's comments? Yeah, the CPI can definitely affect it, you bet. It all depends what kind of comments he has. I mean, if he starts dropping bombs again, like he's been doing lately, I would expect the dollar yen to fall greatly. Where it could fall to, I mean, just technically, the next level of support is this wick that was put in on July 20th of 16. That's 107.38, 107.45, 107.45 roughly. So that's a few hundred pips. I mean, the thing could just go all the way straight down. And there's really, if it's a fundamental based news event, the technicals don't usually hold up as well, in my opinion. So it could go down quite a bit. How's it going, Amrit? A lot of uncertainty. we're seeing the euro dollar trade start to do what I wanted it to do. We'll see if it actually continues with these markets being so thin. It's been riding this line, pushed down when the swaps came in at 4 p.m. Central Time, and which is the interest rate for trading. If you don't know what swaps are, it's an interest that's either paid or charged to your account every day. It comes in at 4 p.m. Central Time, wherever in the world you are. You have to figure that out. And on Wednesdays, it's triple swap Wednesday, and that the reason is triple is it makes up for the swap on the weekend. So if you have a trade that pays a positive swap, say something like selling the Euro Aussie, because the Aussie has a higher interest rate. A lot of times on a Wednesday, if you can time it just right, you can sell the Euro Aussie before the swaps come in and get a 3-to-1 swap for triple swap Wednesday, and basically get a spread-free or slightly profitable trade. So there's always so much to talk about, and there's more than that, of course. Take a look here. Cool. So I think I'm going to leave it be. I mean, there's so many more things to cover. You know, the Aussie currency, and I didn't really touch a whole lot on silver. I didn't touch on crude a lot, but I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Dollar CAD, I think a bunch of you are trading that one. It is definitely at a point where you could be short. We got this area of price congestion that we've been in. Crude is starting to roll down a little bit, though. If there is some unrest over the weekend, and again, not trying to foresee negative things, but if there is some global unrest, I think we could see crude push up, gold, silver, and the yen pairs to the south side. So I'll be back on in the morning in basically almost exactly 12 hours. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. And I'll see if I can get those videos shared as well for you. All right. Have a great night, great rest of the day, and I will see you in about 12 hours. Take care.